Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined as always by my counterpart on the East Coast, Nate Weitzer. Got a big slate tonight on Monday night for you guys. Another great article on playpicks.com with Nate's best bets on there. Nate, we did try to give away a gift card on Friday, but Bam's Adebayo's points, rebounds, and assist total was incredibly underwhelming. So nobody guessed that he would only get 27 combined points, rebounds, and assists. So we will have another one here for you shortly. Make sure you are liked and subscribed to the page and jump in those comments with the total that we'll give you here in just a sec. As always, if you need a FanDuel account or a DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com and find all those local listings if you're lucky enough to have them right now. Nate, let's get into that slate tonight for everybody on Monday the 29th.
Yeah, huge slate tonight. I think we only had a couple games on Sunday, so everybody really in action. We start with the Pacers -5 at Wizards. The Pelicans are +4 at the Celtics. The Wolves +11.5 at Nets, who are getting Kyrie Irving back. The Heat -4 at the Knicks. Julius Randle's questionable. Raptors -4 at Pistons. Grizzlies -7 at Rockets. Mavs -10 at Thunder. Kings +2.5 at Spurs. The Cavs a whopping +16 at the Jazz. The Bulls now shifting down to -2 at Warriors. Steph Curry is the big injury news to watch there. He might return. And the Bucks are +2.5 at the Clippers. So I will start with my most intriguing game, which is the Pacers-Wizards game. I was looking at the over there to see where it opened. 234 is a little high, but I'm still comfortable taking it perhaps in a parlay. I think I'm more comfortable taking aggressive props on the Pacers to win, the Pacers to cover. You just look at Washington's roster. It's just so thin behind those two guards. Bradley Beal is banged up. His production has not been there lately. So if it's just Russell Westbrook trying to carry them against an indie team that's really rounding into form, I really like the Pacers. The Pacers won 4 of their last 5. They're incorporating Karis LeVert. They're hitting threes, 16.4 in that span. They're shooting 42% from 3 over the past week. They still do have plenty of defensive deficiencies, though, and you've seen 10 of their last 11 go over against Eastern Conference opponents. They allow the 4th most paint points per game. So Russell Westbrook, who led the Wizards to get 62 paint points in their last game, could carry that team enough to get us over. I still do like that from a Wizards team that's first in pace, allows the most points per game at home, scores the second most at home, 15-7 against the over at home. But they've just not really been competitive. They're 6-20 against the Eastern Conference, which is absurd. That 10 of their 16 wins have come against the West. And actually 2 of those 6 wins have come against the Nets when they're all fired up to face the Nets, right? So you look at a Pacers team, they won 5 straight when they're favored against Washington. I think they win again tonight.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with that. I think they are turning things around. It's a good time to get on their bandwagon while they're still opening that spread open at -1 for Indy against a super bad Washington team right now. So I'm not sure where that's at. It's risen all the way to about 5, but still feel really good the way that Karis LeVert has fit into that offense and helped them pull some more shots from the outside since they've been missing another guard with TJ Warren, no wings. They're looking really, really good right now. So that's a good pick. And having them make the playoffs is another pretty good pick right now. I'm going to move on to the game, Nate, where we're actually going to have our gift card. So I'm just going to start with that. It's Milwaukee against the Clippers. We're just looking for the game total, the total amount of points scored in that game combined. If you get that total correct, throw it in the comments. Make sure you're liked and subscribed to the page to be eligible to win that gift card. And we'll be looking to give that away if someone can get that total correct tonight. It is a total that I'm looking at, Nate. I'm eyeing about 230.5, 231 right now for that spread. I really like it when you look at the fact that Pat Beverly and Serge Ibaka are both out for the Clippers tonight. 2 of, if not their best defenders, obviously aside from Kawhi. And when they don't have those 2 guys on the floor, their defense is much worse. They give up about 5 more points per possession when those 2 guys are not on the floor. It's a much different defensive look for them. They also can't stretch the floor as well without Ibaka on there and another really good corner shooter in Pat Bev from 3. is really going to hurt their 3-point percentage, which they're one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the league, rely on it heavily. And we know that Milwaukee has struggled to defend the three this year, giving it up, allowing opponents to shoot at a clip of about 39%. But as I mentioned, with Zubac in, less ability to stretch the floor and space, I don't think they'll be able to get as many threes off against a Milwaukee team that's rounding into form with a really legit big three at this point. When you look at the way that Drew Holiday has added, what he's added to Chris Middleton and Giannis, who all three of those guys did not play against the Knicks, which they lost on Saturday, but they are all going to be very well rested at this point. Giannis coming off 2 games missed. So I'm really liking what they're doing. And as I mentioned, with those guys on the floor, they are much better. They're one of the best three lineups or 3-man lineups in the league, outscoring their opponents by about 11 points when they're on the floor. So I'm really going to look for the over tonight. I love that at about 230.5. I really like taking the Milwaukee money line, which is still about even money because it's 0.5 or so is the spread right now. It's about a no line. And then one other thing, if you really want some odds, Giannis to score 30 against this team, which he already did this year, scoring 36, and a Milwaukee win gets you plus 360 on your money. So definitely worth sprinkling some there for Giannis to put up some big points against a Clippers team that's already, not very good on defense this year, middle of the pack, and missing 2 of their best defenders in Ibaka and Pat Bev.
Yeah, love the over in any Bucks game, really, especially against a team that can put up points. Just to note, the Clippers are really hot over their last 5. They have the best net rating in the NBA. So, I'm going to be entertained watching that game for sure. I'm not quite sure if I buy into the Bucks' regular season success yet. They're still below 500 against winning teams. Clippers were hovering below as well. So 2 inconsistent teams looking to make a statement. Just to note, the Clippers front end of a back-to-back, but their second game is against Orlando. So you got to think Kawhi and Paul George go all out for this matchup and then maybe rest tomorrow. I do like, with Pat Beverly out, a couple player props on Reggie Jackson, who's been getting some serious run lately. You can get him over 12.5 points on DraftKings. I think that's pretty reliable. And over 19.5 points, rebounds, assists. No problem taking that. Drew Holiday isn't fully healthy, and he's not necessarily going to be shutting him down.
Yep, and you got no more Lou Will in there, right? And Rajon's not playing, so yeah, good.
Exactly. Yeah, no backcourt depth for the Clippers. So Reggie Jackson played something like 39 minutes 2 games ago at 28 points.
Yep.
Another game, another over. Monday, we're hoping for points. We got the Celtics hosting the Pelicans. These are 2 of the most inconsistent teams over the larger sample size of the entire season. But lately, they've both been really good offensively. The Celtics, even dating back to before they made those slight shifts at the trade deadline, were getting hot. They're averaging the most triples per game, 18.6 threes, getting 118 points per game over their last 5. And the Pelicans are the worst team in terms of allowing 3-pointers per game. They pack it in under Stan Van Gundy. That's going to spell success against the Pelicans team that gives up the most 3-pointers made per game. Jason Tatum has really thrived in this matchup. He's got 73 points in his last 2 meetings with New Orleans. Zion Williamson thriving against everyone. He's averaging 35 points per game on 73% shooting over the last week. And the winning team has scored 120 in each of the last 3 meetings between these squads. You look at the Celtics, they're really feast or famine with their offense. They score 120 in wins. They score just 104 in losses. The way they've been hot right now and the way they have everybody back, you'd expect something closer to the 120 in a winning effort. And then you go well over the total. Just a Pelicans team that's second in offensive rating over their last 8. They have been better defensively, but I think when you run into a hot team like the Celtics, it's going to be more of a matter of outscoring them.
Yep. Yeah, a little bit run and gun here. They're seeing the trend this Monday, hoping for those overs, like you said. I don't think anybody on Boston is fit to stop Zion, if there is anybody in the league fit to even slow him down right now. And I do think you'll be able to see the Celtics. They look a lot better when Semi Ojeleye is not in their starting lineup. So that helps their offense a lot. As you mentioned, everybody's back for them. And then a game, Nate, that we are going to have another key injury if Steph Curry does indeed miss another game tonight, which he's expected to, at home against the Bulls for Golden State, who is they started at about plus 5.5. That has dropped down to about 2.5 or even minus +3 for the Dubs there. getting those points at home versus the Bulls, who, I think we're all expecting them to be better with Nikola Vucevic, but I don't know when that is going to be. They looked really, really bad against the Spurs the other night, and I do think that Zach LaVine playing with like a pick and pop, an actual, big man who does need the ball in the post at times. I don't know that he's really used to that yet. So I think we're going to have to give that offense a little bit. I did like it at 5.5 points for the Dubs. I'm a little bit more scared of 2.5 for them. So you might consider teasing that. I do consider the over, but really, my best bet for this game specifically, Nate, is the fact that I look at Vucevic and the way he's torn up the Warriors the last 5 games that he's played against them. Just in the last 5, he's averaging 22, 13 boards, 6 assists. I've watched him on the Magic destroy Draymond Green, who doesn't really be able to seem to handle somebody like Vooch. So I'm really liking Vooch's points, rebounds, and assists combined tonight, 39.5. If he gets that amount, which I think he's likely to do just in points and rebounds potentially, I think, you get even money on that bet. And if you feel comfortable with any of this, any of the lines here in this game, I like Golden State getting some points more than I do like Chicago to have figured out yet to be able to beat a team that is going to have all their players and is really, really looking for a win before they get their star back.
Yeah, a lot of unknowns here. Steph, it sounds like actually has a really good chance to play. Participated fully in practice yesterday. But the thing to remember about the NBA is it's just not a simple equation where, stars back in, we're gonna win, we're gonna start rolling. You saw in the first game with Steph out, the Warriors actually won, and then they looked horrible in their next 4. Maybe we see a reverse trend where Steph's back, the other guys get caught watching a little bit. The Bulls, as you mentioned, can play through Vucevic. It's hard to imagine him having a monster line like that and them not getting on track with their new acquisition. So for me, it's kind of a wait and see. Maybe get some props in on Vucevic, or maybe bet the Bulls as it is right now and hope Steph sits one more game because the Warriors have been non-competitive without him, for sure.
Yeah.
So DFS perspective, if Zach LaVine's active, he's just 7.5K on FanDuel for that game. I would wait to see if Curry's active because then I think maybe you get into a little more of a shootout there. I like Marcus Smart as a cheaper shooting guard. He's definitely getting healthy and he does everything for the Celtics. Cheaper point guards, Malcolm Brogdon has great numbers against the Wizards. He's playing freely now with LeVert on the wing. Derek White for the still shorthanded Spurs. And look at the Thunder for some value up front. Big Moses Brown had a huge game on Saturday. He had nearly 20-20 at halftime. Yeah. And then our guy Poku, the 7-foot point guard. The Thunder are probably going to rest Shai Gilgeous-Alexander along with Al Horford the rest of the season. So you're going to get value there all the way.
Yep, and I'm also going to look to take advantage of that Milwaukee Clippers game. I think I'm going to shell out for some stars in that game. I think you'll see a Kawhi Giannis battle that would be awesome, sort of via that Toronto Bucks Eastern Conference Finals a few years ago. That was awesome. Really looking forward to another really good offensive battle between those two tonight. So going to shell out there. But that's all the time we have for today, Nate. Remember that we are offering that prop of the total points in that Milwaukee Clippers game. Make sure you're liked and subscribed to the page. Jump in those comments and let us know what you're betting on tonight and what you think that total will be. And we will be back with another full slate of NBA tomorrow night for you guys. As for tonight, just happy betting.